course, when we're learning a new form, which is what we're doing right now, we have to be thinking about where are my hands, where are my feet, what move comes next. So we are more focused on that movement right now. But I thought we could take a break, not really a break, but a review of the first 3 sections of this 40 form that we're learning, and bring it to one of the underlying principles. And we're going to be talking about rotation, and really actually rotation and moving from the Dantian, because we know that applying the underlying principles is where we really start to get the benefits of Tai Chi. So if we think about rotation, moving from the Dantian, I want you to think about 2 things in particular. I want you to think about power and relaxation, because rotation, moving from the Dantian, having that Dantian really guide that rotation, that is power in your movements in terms of the martial arts applications of these movements. But it also allows your body to relax in its movements, because you're not forcing the limbs to go any which way. You're actually using that rotation to help you relax. So let's look at a few of the movements separately, and then we'll move on and review those 3 sections, the first 3 sections of the 40 form. So the first move I want to review and think about with rotation is brush knee. Very simply, when we do our brush knee, we're holding the ball, stepping out, rotating into the move, and allowing our arms to just kind of come into place where they are. When you hold the ball with brush knee, the low hand stays low and the high hand stays high. So if you think about it in terms of relaxing, you can just relax your brain and let your hands just follow the motion of that rotation from the Dantian. But you also need to think about how powerful that movement becomes with the rotation. If you were just to do brush knee, just go forward and not rotate, right? There's only so much power that you have in your arms. If you actually learn to hold the ball to the left, bring your right shoulder to the front, and then rotate into that movement, even though you're going slowly, you can still feel that power. Then rocking back, now holding the ball to the right, which means that left shoulder is towards the mirror, and rotate into your brush knee. So of course there are 3 movements in both the 24 form and actually the long form, and now in the 40 form, that are very similar in movements. We've got brush knee, part the wild horse's mane, and Fair Lady works the shuttle. They're all very similar, and they're all based on our chi walking movements. We've just looked at brush knee, now holding the ball to the right. Let's rotate into our part the wild horse's mane. Again, with our part the wild horse's mane, that Dantian leads that rotation, and our arms just kind of follow and open up. With part the wild horse's mane, this is a splitting. You want to open up like this, but you don't want to just do part the wild horse's mane like this. Using your rotation, you're going to be much more powerful, and you're going to allow your body to relax. Rocking back, holding that ball now to the left with their right to the mirror, to the front. Part the wild horse's mane. Rocking back and rotating into that movement. Same thing with Fair Lady works the shuttle. Your hands just end up in a different position. As you're blocking something high and hitting something, this is your Fair Lady works the shuttle, right? which blocking something low, hitting something with brush knee, or splitting open your opponent's energy with part the wild horse's mane. Rotating into that motion gives you power, and it also allows your body to relax. Now let's move on to the ward off sequence, which we know can be very relaxing in our movements. But if you hold that ball to the right and step out, ward off, grasp the bird's tail, roll back, using your rotation to bring your arms to your hip. Rotate and press, pushing chi. Now let's do it on the other side, because obviously in the 40 form, we only do the whole sequence going to the right. So holding that ball to the left, bringing your shoulders slightly to the front, and then stepping out, ward off. Let that rotation just bring your body to the side here. You're facing to the front, like we said before. This is north. This is going to be east. You're holding that ball, and then you turn your body, rotating, so now you're actually facing east. Grasp the bird's tail. Now as you rotate, bringing your hands to your left hip, rotate, press, and then pushing chi. When we think about the power of going against an opponent, we wouldn't want to just bring our arm up like this and hope that that would stop our opponent's attack. If we actually rotate into that motion, then we know that we have power. We're using our own energy against our opponent. Wave hands like clouds is very easily translated to this rotation, power, and relaxation. We really feel that relaxation if you're rotating from the Dantian. If you're moving your arms separately and not really using that rotation, this can get very tiring. Whereas if you're holding that ball and pulling it across your body using that rotation from the Dantian, then it becomes very relaxing. One more step. So now let's do the first 3 sections of the 40 form, thinking about it in terms of that rotation and moving from our Dantian. We'll take it slowly so that you can really focus on that underlying principle. So start off by taking a nice deep breath in, breathe it out, sinking down, and open. Preparation. Remember, your first move is to rotate. Even though the weight comes to the left, you open up to the right, now bringing your weight all the way to the right, then you rotate into this first left ward off. Continue to rotate, bringing that right shoulder more to the front so that you can come into your ward off sequence. Grasp the bird's tail. Roll back. Rotate and press. Pushing chi. Now you're rotating back to the front, bringing your weight to the left, then back to the right, and there's actually a rotation here in your single whip. And let's stop there for a second. As you come into your single whip, remember that you don't want to just form a bird's beak and then come out into single whip like this. When you form your bird's beak, this left hand is drawing a counterclockwise circle, and you rotate into that single whip. Then bringing your weight to the right, back to the left, coming into your lifting hands. And now as we come into our white crane spreads its wings, this rotation becomes very important. We rotate left, bringing that right leg in, and then we're going to rotate back to the right, bringing that weight all the way to the right, rotating into our white crane spreads its wings. Continue that rotation so that you can grab that ball of energy to come into your brush knee with the power of that rotation. Rocking back, bringing that right shoulder forward, brush knee. Rocking back, one more brush knee. And then we're stepping up into our play the guitar with our toe up. Because then we're going to rotate by turning to the left to come into our deflect, intercept, and punch. Because we want this rotation as we come against our opponent. Deflect, intercept, and punch. Pushing chi. Turning to the front, bringing your weight to the right, but then holding the ball to the left, gathering that energy as you rotate on the diagonal, coming into your slant flying. Then turning to the front, rotating back, bringing your weight to the right, rotating left now to come into your fist under the elbow. Repulse the monkey. As you're stepping back, remember that the Dianne leads that rotation, which gives you power to get away from your opponent. One more. Bringing yourself to the front and then holding that ball again to the left. Using your transitional step, holding that ball to the right so that now you can rotate, bringing power into your Fair Lady works the shuttle. Rocking back, Fair Lady works the shuttle. Rocking back, part the wild horse's mane. And then remember the second part, the wild horse's mane, you're still using your rotation, but you're going to step east. And that rotation is not quite as full because now you're going to come into your wave hands like clouds, moving to the left. 3 steps. And remember, as you do your single whip, you want that rotation counterclockwise into your single whip. So now let's do that, the 3 sections one more time. We won't stop as much. We'll let it flow. But remember, this is why we do Tai Chi, is not just to learn new movements, not just to say I can do the 40 form, the 24, the 108, whatever. It's so that as you're practicing, you learn to apply those underlying principles. So let's do those first 3 sections again. Taking a nice deep breath in, breathing it out, sinking down, bringing the weight to the right, open left. Preparation. Opening up to the right, then left ward off. Bringing the weight up to the left, ward off the whole sequence. Grasp the bird's tail. Roll back. Rotate and press. Pushing chi. Bringing your weight over to the left. Coming back to the right. Rotating into your single whip. Lifting hands. Weight comes to the left. Letting that right leg become empty. And then rotation takes over for your white crane spreads its wings. Moving into brush knee, 3 steps. This is 2. One more step. Stepping up, play the guitar. And then turning so that you can rotate into your deflect. Intercept and punch. Pushing chi. Turning towards the front, then holding the ball to the left, stepping on the diagonal over your right shoulder, slant, flying. Turning back to the front, holding that ball, bringing the weight to the right, rotating into your fist under the elbow. Coming into repulse the monkey, 4 steps. Turning to the front, then holding the ball to the left, stepping right, holding that ball, and then stepping left. Fair Lady works the shuttle. Fair Lady works the shuttle. Part the wild horse's mane, and then part the wild horse's mane with your right foot going straight east, then turning back north, coming into your wave hands like clouds. Single whip. So there you have your practice for your first 3 sections of the 40 form. We'll move on to the next section, which will include some kicks. So a little bit different movement now after we've done that rotation, relaxation. Now we have to learn to relax as we kick as well. So practice the first 3 sections, and then I'll see you next week.